I'm Marisa. In this video, I'm going to tell you about narrative text. I explain it in 4 parts. The first one is definition. The second one is generic structures. The third one is language features. And the last one is the example of narrative text. Let's just get started. The definition of narrative text is an imaginative story to entertain target people with past events. It can be spoken or written language, even it can both of them. The generic structures in narrative text are: the first one is about the opening paragraph where the characters of the story are introduced, such as person, time, and place. The second is complication, where the problems in the story developed. The third is resolution, where the problems in the story is solved. And the language features of the narrative text are using possessive verbs, using conjunctions, and then using simple past tense. Now, the examples of narrative text. Once upon a time, Mother Duck found a lovely spot under a tree by the pond to lay her eggs. She laid 5 eggs. Suddenly, she noticed that one of the eggs was different from the other eggs. She got a little worried. She waited for them to hatch. One fine morning, at last, one after another, the eggs began to crack. Peep, peep, they said. All the eggs had come alive, and the ducklings were poking their heads out into the big world. All broke except one. Oh, what sweet babies I have! What a lucky mother I am! But what happened to the 5th one? The duck was worried. The last egg is taking such a long time. She sat on the egg and gave it all the warmth that it could give. This was the most beautiful duckling of all, since this is taking so much time to hatch. One fine morning, when the egg broke, there came out an ugly gray-colored duckling. Beep, beep. This is different from its other siblings. It was very big and rather ugly. None of my other ducklings look like that. This one is perhaps ugly. The mother duck was surprised to see him and was very sad. Mother hoped that one day would become just like his siblings. But days went by and the duckling remained ugly. All his brothers and sisters made fun of the duckling, and they would not play with him. The duckling was very sad. You are ugly. Look at that ugly little thing on the earth. Yeah, go away. You are so ugly. We will not play with you. You are an ugly monster. They all laughed at him. The ugly duckling was really sad. The ugly duckling went to the pond and looked at his reflection in the pond. Nobody likes me. I'm so ugly. The duckling decided to leave the family and go somewhere deep into the woods. The duckling wandered all alone in the deep forest. Soon, when winters came by, there was snow all around. The duckling was sad and he shivered with cold but couldn't find any food to eat or a warm place to be in. He went to a family of ducks. They reject him. "You're so ugly, chap," one of them said. "Who is this ugly fellow." He ran away and he met a dog on the way. The dog saw him and went away. The ugly duckling thought to himself, "I'm so ugly that even the dog doesn't want to eat me." The ugly duckling sadly started wandering into the woods again. There he met a peasant who took him home to his wife and children. But even there was a trouble by the cat that lived there, so he left the peasant house. Soon it was spring. Everything was fresh and green once again. Walking and walking, he saw a river. He was so happy to see water again. He went close to the river where he saw a beautiful swan swimming. The duckling was ashamed of himself and bowed his head low. When he bent his head, he saw his own reflection in the water and he astonished. He wasn't ugly anymore. He had turned into a handsome young swan. Now he realized why he looked different from his siblings, because he was a swan and they were ducks. The generic structures in ugly ducklings. Orientation. Once upon a time, Mother Duck found a lovely spot under a tree by the pond to lay her eggs. She laid 5 eggs. One fine morning, when the egg broke, there came out an ugly gray-colored duckling. This is different from its other siblings. It was very big and rather ugly. Resolution. He realized why he looked different from his siblings, because he was a swan and they were ducks.